Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
What's up, everybody? Big Herc, fresh out. You tune into another edition of Prison Talk. I'm here with the homie Bounce Back B, and you guys always ask me a bunch of different questions. I like to try to answer as many as possible. Make sure you guys shoot your questions to FreshOutSeries.com. Anyways, I was gonna have them address politics on the East Coast as opposed to on the West Coast. We did one before about just the racial issues in California when I talked with Badger and then with Suave XXX. So I want to get it from Bounce Back B. How does doing time in Florida differ among the different races, and how do people get along in prisons out there?
Cool. I appreciate everybody having me. Thanks for watching. And so, I only did time in the state of Florida, so I can only speak on that. But from watching other videos, from hearing what other people have said, time in Florida is completely 100% different than it is in, like, say, California. In Florida, you have everybody that's in prison: white, black, Spanish, Asian, very few Asian, Arabic, hardly any of them. But anyways, there's pretty much everybody in prison. They don't mind. They'll put anybody in prison in Florida. It's one of the big 3 states where they have a ton of people in prison: California, Florida, and Texas. And what's crazy, though, is it's like once you get into prison, where a lot of people think it's like little cliques of, the white guys or the Spanish guys or the black guys. It's not like that. There are cliques, but you can go to rec, hang out with whoever you want to. You can go to rec, work out with whoever you want to. You can go to chow, sit with whatever race you want to. There are cliques that say, hey, wait, this is our table. We're going to sit here. Nobody else is sitting here. And when that comes, you just respect that. That's what everybody knows. You just respect what another person wants or wishes. But as far as like politics or gangs, there's gangs in the state of Florida. There are some there, and it's starting to grow. The big one over there is Latin Kings, Bloods. Them are the 2 big ones. They're starting to be Crips. There's a big gang that's coming up called Cutthroat, and they're dead serious. That's what it is, Cutthroat. But as far as like people just hanging out, being around each other, you could be around whoever you want. There's even 2-man cell, where normally, in a lot of West Coast prisons, it'd be a black guy with a black guy, or a Spanish guy, or a white guy, their own people in their cell. It's not like that in Florida at all. It doesn't matter what prison you go to, people just intermix, and that's just the way it is. That's how it's always been. And really, I don't see it changing. I still talk to people right now, guys that are in prison that I stay in contact with. And it's the same way. The big change since I've been there is the drug scene and the gang scene. They say there's a lot more drugs, which is the drugs they're doing. I'll get into that too in a minute. But the drug scene is really crazy. It's changing the game in prison big time. It's making things way more dangerous. And then the gang scene is completely changing. But even in gangs, you'll have a mixed gang where there's black and white guys in the same gang. So it's completely different than it is on the West Coast.
Is there a lot of, I know because down in Florida, I know they got like a big Jamaican and Haitian and Cuban community. Is there a lot of separation between them, or like the Haitian Jamaicans, are they like interacting with each other as far as because of the drug trade, or they kind of stay to their own, or what about that?
Right, so the further south you go in Florida, like if you're doing time up north, you're not going to run into as many Haitians or Jamaicans. But once you get to like Orlando and below, a lot of Haitians, a lot of Jamaicans, and those 2 group of guys, they always stick together. So you'll know who the Haitian guys are on the compound because they stick together, they ride together, but they'll hang out with the Jamaicans as well. It seems like there's way more Haitians than Jamaicans that you run into, but they click up, and they even run together, they hang out together, they make moves together. But as a whole, they usually have their own little group, so it'll be a lot of Haitian guys and then some Jamaican guys, but they'll
Is that
do
the same
things
with
together.
the Cubans? Because I know there's a big Cuban community out
So
there too.
Cubans, and so you got Cubans and Mexicans.
Okay.
As far as like what they consider like big Spanish groups, they don't get along. Yeah, I mean they'll hang out together, but that's a group that they talk shit about each other. They get into beefs with each other. There's just always some type of rival between them.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, because like I said, out here in California, you won't see, you might have, you have the Bay Area, you have, LA, you got, then you got Crip Blood, and then you got, you got the Southsiders, Serranos, Norteños. So it's like everybody's separate, man. Everybody's going at each other's throat. And, in the chow hall, you can't sit at a particular group's table. If you sit at somebody's table and that's not your table, somebody can just walk by and they'll just cut you. You know what I mean? It'll go down. There won't even be no questions asked. So you really got to watch your ass when you're out here in California state prisons because of just the serious political ramifications. So to hear that you'll have a black guy and a white guy bunk up, that's unheard of.
Yeah, no doubt. They definitely bunk up. And even in the chow, the big thing is respect. That'll get you run through it. That'll get you taken out of the game. That could possibly end your life, just disrespecting people.
Yeah.
No matter what race you are. Big thing is carry yourself with respect and respect other people. And there's starting to be a little bit more politics, but it's just not organized.
Yeah.
Whereas on the West Coast, it's very organized. But you know what a funny thing is too is, and I've seen this where guys will just come and they'll represent something. They'll say they're part of a clique or a part of a gang when they're really not. But it's not organized, so they're not really verifying it. But you do have like groups where people are like, oh, we're from Miami. You got the northern Jacksonville guys. You got Tallahassee, Lauderdale, and those a lot of times when you're around your people from your area, those guys click up and they hang out together as well.
Makes sense. Yeah, because I know even like I know out here the guards and the warden institute, they try to classify you like where you're Crip, you're Blood, you GD, where you from, blah blah blah. So the actual institution itself, they like to keep that going because it allows them to like say when shit jumps off, well, you already said you were a GD, or you said you were a Blood, so why didn't you get down with the Bloods when they had the riot? You know what I mean? What, you a buster? I mean, they'll clown you. Literally, like, you come roll with your homies or what? And so it's like they put you in these different categories to kind of like make it easier to kind of justify a lot of things going on in prison, which, it seems like out there you're saying it's different. And then you said like the prison system out there, you said there's a lot of rednecks.
Oh God, it's flooded with rednecks. They have black rednecks.
Black rednecks.
I swear.
Oh,
that's not
shit.
even a joke. That's keeping it 100 right there. It's redneck.
So it don't matter. They're just.
It's the South. It's the South.
Yeah.
They're rednecks. It doesn't matter what they are, what race they are. They're country ass rednecks and just disrespect you. They're just uneducated.
Call you out of pocket in a minute.
In a hot second. They don't waste no time with that. They're going to do that as soon as you get off the bus.
Wow.
They're calling everybody out. It's crazy. And they try to put it in your head immediately when you get there. This is how they're going to treat you. This is how they run it. So that's what you are to expect. Some places you get to, the further south you go, where they ease up. It's a little bit, it's not quite as redneck. Mm-hmm. But they're always at every camp. And I've been from the top all the way to the bottom. They put me on that diesel therapy for a minute.
That's another thing, too, out here in Cali. Motherfuckers is like, I seen dudes check guards. Like, man, let me holler at you, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, get down and the guard be like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? But
They do that. They do that in Florida.
Okay,
I've been in that situation. Luckily, the dude just was like, the fuck, this dude's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
This dude, it's kind of off subject right here. I'm in the canteen line one day. But I bought a spot in the canteen line. So I was in the back. Dude said, hey, I'm selling a spot for like a rack of cookies. So you go up there, you exchange spots with him, you give him a rack of cookies. He's selling a spot. That's his hustle. So I take Buddy's spot. Well, the police was on the corner of the canteen building. He's seen this going down, right? Big redneck dude. I get up there. I'm filling my bag full of canteen. He comes around the side of the building and snatches my bag from me. The police. Broad daylight. The man just strong arm robbed me of my bag and peeled off and went around the building. Behind the canteen is a barber shop. So I'm like, what the fuck? I get my card back. You got to get your card. Otherwise, Buddy will keep running your card. Your shit will be on empty.
Yeah.
So I get my card back. I get my receipt. I go around the building. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? You just took my bag. He's like, you skipped in line. The police is telling me this, right? I said, look, man, you know the hustle. Dude sold me the spot. I didn't skip in line. You ain't going to, you try to skip in line anyway, somebody's going to crack your shit.
Yeah.
You're not skipping in line. So he's like, blah, 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 running his mouth to me, right? So I'm looking at, he's much bigger than me. He's taller than me. He's bigger than me. But he's got a real fat ass belly. I already know. If we get on the ground, I'm going to twist his dude up. Hopefully. so I tell him, I'm like, hey, he was a sergeant. I'm like, Sergeant, this is what I asked him. I'm like, how tall are you? And the dude told me. And so I'm like, how much you weigh? And now he's looking like, what? I said, and the barber was standing right here, right? I said, look, I'm willing to bet you right now. We can go in this barbershop. You can't make me tap. I'm going to make you tap in this barbershop. He's like, what? He said, man, get your bag and get the hell out of here. this man give me the bag and send me on the way. So, I mean, there are situations where either, one, you're just too fed up.
Yeah,
You get tired of their bullshit. And sometimes you check them. A lot of times that's going to end up bad for you.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's going to end up bad. But sometimes you're just too fed up with it. And then other times, maybe you're at a spot that's a little bit softer. And you could check.
You know what you get. Yeah.
You could speak back to them. You could say things to them that maybe at another spot you normally wouldn't say. You really got to fill it out. Each place is different. Each shift is different. Mm-hmm. You might be at a camp where it's sweet, but third shift is off the chain. Mm-hmm. So each shift, you just got to fill it out.
Mm. There you have it. Big Herc Prison Talk. Bounce Back B kicking this game with you guys.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.